Alright guys, welcome to this lesson on 3 white soldiers. So we're gonna start talking about triple candlestick patterns from now on. So instead of 1 and 2 candlestick patterns, we are talking about 3 candlestick patterns. So a little bit of disclaimer before we move on. Now basically, what is this pattern called 3 white soldiers? Basically it looks something like this. So you have consecutive bullish candles with each opening being higher than the previous opening, and with each closing price being higher than the previous closing price. And basically, this is a strong reversal pattern if you see it at the end of a bearish trend or after a consolidation. So when it comes to the context, this will be a very strong pattern when you see it at the end of the trend, okay? Or at the end of a trend, if you see a consolidation market and followed by 3 white soldiers, then this will signal to you that a potential reversal is coming. So when it comes to the strength of this candle, this would be considered a very strong pattern as compared to the single candlestick patterns, as compared to the double candlestick patterns, because right now instead of 1 bullish signal, you have 3 confirmations that the price is going to continue to go up. Okay, so this pattern can be seen as a continuation and also reversal pattern depending on where you see it. Okay, context is very important. I'm gonna give you some examples later on. And this is a stronger pattern as compared to 3 black crows. Now if you haven't go through that lesson yet, basically 3 black crows is the opposite of 3 white soldiers. So instead of 3 consecutive green candles, you see 3 consecutive red candles. Okay, 3 consecutive bearish candles. Now some things to take note when it comes to 3 white soldiers is it is different from other candlestick patterns where you need 1 extra candle for confirmation, but for 3 white soldiers you don't really need any extra confirmation. You don't really need to wait for the 4th candle for you to confirm that the price is going to continue to go up, because 3 white soldiers in itself, it has 3 candlesticks, so that is a confirmation in itself. Okay, and also the candlesticks cannot be too long. It cannot be way too different from each other. You cannot have the first candlestick being very small, then followed by a big bullish candle like that. By now you should know that when you see a big bullish candle, it tells you that price might become overextended, and hence buyers would start to take profit, especially when you see this at the end of the trend, and it will start attracting sellers to come in because they will see that, oh, price went so high and probably it wouldn't get any higher, so let me just sell. So these are the traders who pick tops and bottoms. So what you want to see is 3 very steady upward green candles. Okay, preferably a consistent size. Now of course sometimes you see 4 consecutive bullish candle, 5 consecutive bullish candle. Minimum you need is 3. Okay, and the thing is 3 white soldiers is not as common as the double candlestick pattern and also single candlestick pattern, but when you do see it, it would be a strong indicator that the price would continue to go up. So if I'm to ask you right now, based on what I shared with you just now, which pattern is stronger, the first one or the second one? Okay, if you know the psychology on how to read candlestick patterns, when you see upper wicks, what does this mean? It means that sellers kinda came in and then pushed the price down. So if you had asked me which one is stronger, it's the one without any upper wicks, because it tells you that buyers are in full control all the way. Okay, from the start of the session until the end of the session, buyers are in full control all the way. So ideally you don't want an upper wick that is way too long. Okay, ideally you want 3 white soldiers that has no shadow, okay, or very small upper shadow, preferably no shadow, so that it is a strong signal. Okay, but with that said, doesn't mean that if you see an upper wick then you don't regard it as a 3 white soldier. You still need to take note of it. So as you can see, there are a couple of consecutive bullish candles over here. Okay, so you see a 3 white soldiers over here with consistent body size. Of course, the wicks would be of different length. And of course, followed by this is a couple more bullish candles. Do you see that? Okay, so when you see the appearance of 3 white soldiers or more bullish candles, it tells you that the downtrend is ending, especially when you see it at the end of the trend. And it also tells you that the market is going to end its consolidation. As you can see, prices kind of go sideways from here. So it just tells you that the consolidation would end or the bearish trend would end. And in this case, both cases. So if you're somebody who like to pick tops and bottoms, of course you need more confirmation for you to say that, okay, the downtrend has ended. But if you are trying to pick tops and bottoms and you want to enter here after all these bullish candles, now the thing is, when you see consecutive bullish candles, especially large bullish candles, it might induce profit taking. As you can see over here, there's one big bullish candle over here, and you can see that price gradually came down. Also, because there's a resistance level over here, so please take note. So you might want to wait for the price to retrace a little bit to a support level, like for example over here. Okay, and then you get in when there's a bullish candlestick signal, and then you can ride the trend. Okay, the bullish trend. Now the thing about 3 white soldiers is that the signal would work out better if it appears at the end of a downtrend, because when it comes to 3 white soldiers, you need something for it to reverse. But when you see 3 white soldiers in an uptrend, especially when you see consecutive bullish candles just like this over here, okay, and especially when you see this at the end of a bullish trend, this might tell you that the price might become overextended and traders will start to take profit, and it will start to attract sellers to come in. Especially right after consecutive bullish candles, you see a reversal pattern. For example, you see a doji pattern. Of course, this doji is not ideal. You see a doji pattern, or you see any reversals, signals, then it tells you that, okay, you better prepare to get out. And if you recall, based on previous lectures, when you see an almost 90-degree shoot up in the price or a 90-degree sell off, okay, very likely it would be the end of the trend. So take note of where these candlesticks appear. Of course, if you see 3 white soldiers in a bullish trend, but if it is at the start or the middle of the trend, it might become a continuation signal. So I'll give you another example. If you can find where the 3 white soldiers are, over here, okay? Now, how do you know whether the 3 white soldiers, is it going to work out or not? Is there going to be a reversal? First thing first, look at where it is at the whole entire trend. So you can see there's a bullish trend over here, and then it ended. So it kind of went below the 100 SMA. It just started the downtrend. So you can say right here it is at the middle of the trend, and followed by later on there's a doji and then consecutive bearish candles. So this is a false signal. Okay, this is a false signal because of all of these factors, and hence the price continue to go down on a bearish trend. So like I said, for a reversal to happen, preferably you want the 3 white soldiers to appear at the end of the trend rather than at the start of the trend. So you can see another example here. There's a bearish movement over here. The end of the trend is over here, and after that the price went on a consolidation. And when 3 white soldiers appear at the end of the consolidation, it tells you that the chance of a bullish movement is going to increase, especially when it appears after the end of the trend or at the end of the trend. Okay, and moreover, if you look at stochastics, you see an oversold signal over here. Another example, you can see 3 white soldiers over here. Okay, so after that the price made a double top, kind of a double top, and it is found at the end of the trend. Okay, so more or less you can tell that the trend is about to end. When the 3 white soldiers appear, you see stochastics making an overbought signal for you. So if 3 white soldiers appear at the end of a bullish trend, you better take profits. Okay, Another confirmation that the bullish trend will end is when the candles come down and broke below the 3 white soldiers low, which is over here. Okay, so when you see candles broke below the 3 white soldiers low, this is another confirmation that the trend is gonna end. The bullish trend is gonna end. Okay, so just take note of that. Again, another example for you. You can see that 3 white soldiers is over here. Subsequent candles, it broke below 3 white soldiers low over here. So that's one clue. Of course, price can come back up here and then broke back above the 3 white soldiers low, but then you can see where 3 white soldiers appear. Can you see the resistance over here? Okay, and if you drag it all the way here, okay, price is making 4 tops, or you can say this is a head and shoulder, but whichever pattern that you want to define it with is the same principle. It tells you that price is going to continue to go downtrend. So that's the second confirmation. Third confirmation, of course, is when price goes below 200 SMA and when 50 cross below your 100. Okay, so this is the third, fourth confirmation. When the 3 white soldiers is formed, RSI gives you an overbought signal. Of course, you will see this with stochastics and CCI as well. So whichever indicator you use, the principle is the same. And you can tell that this is a false breakout over here because when the candlestick broke above resistance, it gave you a bearish engulfing pattern. So you know that you shouldn't buy when the candlestick broke above the resistance. So like I said, when you see 3 white soldiers at the end of an uptrend, you take profit. But when you see 3 white soldiers at the end of a downtrend, you can do two things. You can take profit on your sell trade, or you can pick tops and bottoms if you're an experienced trader. Couple of confirmations that tells you that when the bearish trend is going to end. So you can see over here is the end of a bearish trend. So there's a little bit of support zone over here, and then right after that you see 3 consecutive green candles being formed, then right after that again. So when it broke this trend line, it gives you a 3 white soldier pattern, and this is a good confirmation that the trend has ended, because not only did it broke the major trend line, it also bounced off from support, but also 50 SMA at this point in time is also starting to slope up. I would prefer using 3 white soldiers as a take profit signal, but if you want to use this for a buy sell signal, make sure you revise how to use this. So with that, I'll talk to you in the next lesson. Bye.